Nick, to start, obviously you decided to coach this Saturday on the sideline as opposed to being in the press box. What kind of value, impact do you think that had to help Donovan out, and what was just your impressions of just what he was able to do on Saturday?
I thought it was, positive just being able to be there for him, to communicate directly to him and not over a phone. Just be able to look him in the eyes and ask him what he was seeing and how he's feeling, those types of things. So, there's pros and cons to being up in the box or down on the field both ways. Certainly in the box it's a little calmer. Your vantage point's a little bit better. You can see a little bit better. I didn't have an issue seeing things on the field Saturday. But, there's certain parts of the field where, the far side, you can't, you got to rely on the people in the box. And the information we got from up top was outstanding. So that was productive. And more than anything, just to be there for him, just to look him in the eye and talk to him and, just whatever he needed, encouragement, motivation, whatever, just to be there for that. So I thought that was good. And then I thought he had some moments in the game where he did a nice job, and certainly there were some, plays where we have to improve. We have to get better. We don't, just sweep some of the mistakes under the rug and not address them. We think, there were a few plays where, the ball bounced our way, where we probably didn't make as good of decisions or as good of a throw. And fortunately, they were just broken up passes, but they could have been turnovers. So we recognize that, but certainly for a young player to go out there, I thought he was competitive, he was tough, and those are great qualities to have playing that position. And so he demonstrated the ability to compete, for 4 quarters, for 60 minutes, to be tough, to continue to play the next play. So I was impressed by that, And sometimes you don't know until they get out there. And being down there with him, I was just impressed by his competitiveness, and I was proud of him for that.
Nick, obviously with 4 different quarterbacks this year, you have to run 4 different guys in there, and it's probably more difficult to scheme to 4 different guys. So how difficult has it been to get the quarterbacks on the same page, especially when you have to bring a new one in like you did with Donovan?
Yeah, I think that's been a little bit of a challenge, certainly. I think your point's well taken there. I mean, you're trying to feature the things that each guy feels most comfortable with, and where that can really be a challenge is for the other players, for them to get into a groove on all the different types of schemes that you're trying to run, and them get comfortable and familiar with those types of things. So, it has been, like you mentioned, we've played different guys at that position. So, the guys have adjusted. They've, put the work in. They've prepared hard. And, we'll continue to work to improve. I wouldn't say it's wholesale changes. I mean, some of the schemes are still similar to what we've ran in the past, just maybe a different way to do it. And yet, certainly, there's some things that we ran Saturday in the game that we hadn't with the previous guys that were playing. So you're always looking for ways to try to help the players that are in there to feature what they do best. And that's been, a process all year.
I guess it's sort of personal in a way, but being there one-on-one with Donovan, maybe not just from a scheme perspective, but just from a personal perspective or a player's perspective, just how did you see him process a lot of that, the good, the bad, just in real time, maybe having to come over and talk about what he did well or what he didn't do well and just adjusting as the game went on?
I thought he got better as the game went on. I thought he settled in. And I probably, expected that to some degree, that there would be ups and downs in the game. But like I said, I was just proud of his mentality. I think he's a competitive kid. And, great competitors, they just keep swinging. I mean, they keep playing, they keep fighting, they keep, trying to get first downs and score points and make throws and run and you name it. So I thought it was a process. I thought, early in the game, I mean, we had a false start on the second play of the game. A little bit of a communication issue there, and there was a few times early in the game where maybe he didn't see it quite as clearly or cleanly as we would have liked, but that's the process. You're dealing with a young player going out there, but I definitely thought that he settled down as the game went on and played better. And I think he's improved each day since he's been here, and certainly here in the last few weeks, just throughout practice, throughout the week of prep, I told him I thought, he was better Tuesday than he was Sunday, and better Wednesday than he was Tuesday, and on throughout the week, And so that's going to be important for him, the growth that he makes day to day, practice to practice, period to period. That's going to be crucial for him, and I thought that showed up in the game. I thought he played better as the game went on, so that was encouraging.
Yeah, Coach, what was the key to getting the running game going on Saturday, and how do you build off that?
I thought, obviously we had an explosive run. Stephen Carr busting the big run on the 3rd and 2 was key. When you look at rushing yardage, there's really 2 key components there that you look at is one, eliminating negative plays, which we did a better job of. There was more just solid production of, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-yard runs. And then in order to have, big production, you need a big run. I mean, you need some explosiveness. And so Steven provided that. The guys did a good job blocking up front. And he was able to spit it out there and had a big run. And that was a big play in the game for us to try to get some momentum and battle there. So I thought those were probably the 2 keys. Is we still had a few plays where we didn't block as cleanly. We gave up, a couple – we had a couple negative yardage plays on the quarterback runs that shouldn't happen. A couple of zone plays that got stretched out there that, we got to be better. But I just thought the efficiency was better. And then you couple that with an explosive run, and now the yards are better than what they've been. So, I think we got to continue that. You got to cover guys up and block them and strain and finish. And the back's got to run hard and downhill. And then you got to find a way to pop a couple big runs. And when you do that, then you look back on the day and say, we ran the ball better. So that's what I thought happened in the game.
You mentioned that Donovan got better as the game went on. So what was the difference between the first quarter and then the second half? It kind of looked like 2 different quarterbacks. He was a little timid, running the ball a lot, looking to Carr to make those plays. But then in the second half, he was showing off his athleticism and his arm. So what was kind of the difference, and how did his confidence evolve throughout the game?
I just thought he settled down. Maybe he was breathing a little bit more in the second half. I don't know. I just thought he settled down a little bit. And I really couldn't put my finger on, what it was. Just him getting into the flow of the game and getting hit or tackled and, maybe taking a deep breath. So I don't know. You probably ask him maybe how he felt, but I certainly thought early in the game, he was a little freshman-like, just adjusting to the speed of the game. But he settled in fine, and he had good composure. He had good competitiveness. I just think trusting the things that he was seeing. And it's one thing to do it in practice, and then when, the live bullets are flying, that's a whole nother level. So I couldn't point to one certain thing. Maybe getting sacked on the 3rd play of the game, maybe knocked the rust off a little bit. But I don't know. That'd be a good question for him. I couldn't put my finger on that, but certainly I agree with you. I thought he played better as the game went on.
All the receivers have had to deal with this, the multiple quarterbacks, but Payton Hendershot in particular, just how important has his leadership been in helping that receiving room and all the changes that they've seen, and then just his play of late has really stepped up. How important is it for him to be almost a security blanket for these guys? Yeah,
he's played great. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt. I mean, every week it seems like there's some new record that, for a tight end here that he's, now he's the record holder for. So his production has been outstanding. His leadership has been even better. And really, really just proud of him. He's done a phenomenal job. And Kev, Coach Wright's done an awesome job of just with that whole room. It's a really good room. Those guys are contributing to our team, not just on offense, but on special teams. Matt Bjorson, A.J. Barner, all those guys, Murph. I mean, all those guys are contributing to our team. So, and certainly Peyton's led the way. And his maturity, just how far he's come, not just on the field, off the field. It's what coaching's all about. That's why you do this. So he's been great, and he's played great. I mean, made a lot of big catches, runs after catch, done a really nice job. So it's going to have to continue. He's been one of our best players, no doubt about it, and he's been one of the most productive players at his position in the conference this year. And You know, we need big things from him moving forward, and we expect that. But he's been fantastic. Okay, thanks, guys.